Argentina universities are free. And one of the things that he bring Malbec to Argentina, particularly to the province of Mendoza. And on that moment, it was a paradox, because when Malbec was not so popular in Europe, it began to be, big things in America.
You've just had a terrible drought in Argentina. Yeah. That has presumably badly hit a lot of the wine producers.
Yes, it is. It's a trouble, but, I think that the industry, I think they have ways to overcome the droughts. I think that, for example, Mendoza is a very dry area, and you have a very good system, to irrigate the vineyards. But indeed, it's a problem, and it is a problem for the whole agro industry worldwide.
And how are the producers grappling with inflation, which is obviously, we complain about inflation in this country, but it's a real issue in Argentina right now?
Well, let's see, we get used to that, and the most of the producer of the product of the industry is going abroad, and they get used to the instabilities of the economy. I think one of the ways that Argentina could, overcome the economic difficulties is growing its export. And I think wine is the best example for the rest of the economy. I think the Argentine industry modernized a lot in the last 20 years or so. My first post abroad was here in London. And I remember at that time it was very, very difficult to find Argentine wine in a restaurant or in a supermarket. And today it's everywhere.
I think I'm right in saying, though, that trade between the UK and Argentina has just hit an all-time high in terms of the volumes.
Yes, that is historical records in our commerce. We export more than $1 billion, almost $5 billion, and we import around 1/3 of that sum. And this is a record. In general, Latin America is not very important as a trading partner of the UK, but Argentina is important in this universe, And I think there is a lot of way to improve that. We don't have sailing in our commerce, in the last few months come our Minister of Energy, and there is really, really huge interest in oil and gas and, and mining as well. Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile is the lithium triangle. This is the biggest, reservoir of lithium in the world. And there is a sort of frenzy regarding that, how to develop that. And for us, it's a challenge.
But it's very, very interesting, though, because most people, if they think about Argentina's economy, they do think of you as an agricultural powerhouse. But the fact that you're now exporting energy in considerable volumes, lithium potentially as well, the economy is going to be a lot more diverse in years to come.
Well, Argentina have a very diverse structure. We have a very strong industrial base. And, for example, we export nuclear reactors. We export nuclear reactors to Australia, we are now building one in the Netherlands, and Argentina produce and export satellites. One of the leading firms in the world in microsatellites in an Argentine firms. And we have another big firm that is owned by one of the provinces of Buenos Aires that produce this big nuclear reactor for research and produce isotopes and these sort of things. The images for Argentina, many times, me as an ambassador, and many ambassadors who had to fight against stereotypes, Even we Argentinians, we really don't know what we country have. For example, many people associate Argentina with meat, but we export more fish than meat since 20, 30 years, or we export creative industries, That is, I think it's a big, opportunity that have my country to develop.
So how big can the trade between the UK and Argentina become?
Well, I think we can double that figure. I think I am pretty optimistic on that. Is it possible to double that figure? Because the economies are so complementary. I think that that is possible to improve. And one thing that we need to improve is the knowledge between societies, and because many times in Argentina, when if I pick up one Argentinian in the street and say, how do you think that is of UK? And they have an image of UK that is fixed in the past.
And obviously you've just won the World Cup. I think people in England have just about forgiven you for the hand of God in 1986.
Well, I hope so. But you have to remember the second goal of Maradona. Yeah. That was great. It was really, really great. I remember, I think it was a writing piece. I think it was a Lineker that he wrote when Maradona died a couple of years ago. And he mentioned that the first goal was, a little tricky, but the second goal was, a masterwork, really. And for us it was, imagine the happiness of Argentina when we won the World Cup,
Would you like to see more British tourists in Argentina?
Yes, indeed. Well, one of the problems that we don't have enough, airlines. Today it's only British Airways who is flying a direct flight, but we are talking with other companies to try to gain more, more airlinks to Buenos Aires. I know that the British tourist is, per capita, the tourists that the most spend money in my country, because it's a very high-end tourist. They go to fly fishing to Patagonia, and they go to wine tasting to the Andes, and yes, we expect to have more airlinks, and fortunately I expect more British tourists as well.
While the UK unemployment rate currently stands at just 3.7%, the unemployment rate for 16 to 24-year-olds is 10.8%, while the inactivity rate, that's those not in education, employment or training, stands at 38.2%. Well, the charity Movement to Work was set up to tackle that state of affairs. It seeks to help young people not currently in education, employment or training step onto the career ladder by working with UK employers to provide quality jobs, training and work placement opportunities. Today marks its 10th anniversary, and it's hosting a CEO conference to get more companies to support its work. Well, joining me now is the charity's new chair, Charles Woodburn, who is, of course, also Chief Executive of BAE Systems. Charles, very good morning to you. Why do you think inactivity levels are so high for this group?
Well, it's been quite a challenging period, Ian, and as you said, it is something that we as businesses feel very strongly about, and anything we can do to help get people into workplaces, give them the placement opportunities, which then hopefully will lead to successful outcomes. We as a company have been one of the founding members of Movement to Work. I personally have been involved since 2017, and we've seen the people that have come through Movement to Work. I meet them as I go around our UK businesses and see how well they're doing. They flourish with us. They come in typically for a placement, that becomes a bridge into an apprenticeship, and then from an apprenticeship into the workplace, and high quality, long-term employment awaits at the end of it. So we have had a very strong experience with Movement to Work, a very positive experience. And, part of the reason I feel so passionate about it is that I want to make sure that other companies understand that there is an answer to some of these challenges that these young people are facing.
Are employers doing a good enough job in engaging with youth employment programmes?
Well, I think there's quite a variety of them, and we certainly think that Movement to Work stands tall within that. Movement to Work has actually offered 160,000 opportunities since it was founded 10 years ago, and more than half of those have led to successful outcomes. So, that's a very large number of people that have used the opportunity. And we're very keen to make sure that, other companies are aware of the success of Movement to Work, aware of the program, the fact that it doesn't cost anything to join Movement to Work. We support the young people. They get their transport and their lunches paid for when they do a placement with us, and really to try and reduce the barriers that some of these young people face to find their way into a workplace and ultimately a high quality long-term employment at the end of it.
Your company, BAE Systems, requires heavily on very, very highly skilled workers. Can someone on a work placement really add much value? Can they pick up a lot in a short space of time?
Well, I think that the evidence is there. I mean, we as a company, through Movement to Work, have had 700 placements in the last 10 years. We're offering another 100 this year. And as I've said already, as I go around our businesses, I quite often meet people that are very proud to say that they started on a Movement to Work placement. And, whilst the placement itself is really a bridge into an apprenticeship, I always think that placements, they allow us as a company to see, how people work in the place of work, but equally they allow those who are enjoying the placement to see what we are like as an employer and make a much more educated decision. So it is a first step on a pathway, but coming into our apprentice programs, and as you know, we have a very strong apprentice program here in the UK. We've increased our apprentice numbers, but getting onto an apprentice program then really is the first step or the second step after the placement into long-term employment.
Now, as we speak, the Prime Minister's giving a speech on how he wants people to carry on studying maths right up until the age of 18. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, from our perspective, we're an engineering company at its heart, and STEM, or at least numeracy skills, are indeed very important for us. So we firmly would support more numeracy and a higher standard coming out of our schools.
Is the education system in this country equipping young people sufficiently for the kind of careers that the modern economy is providing them with?
Well, I think there has been in the last handful of years, I think, a more of an appreciation of what apprenticeships can really offer. And I think that we've been, as a company, trying to make sure that people understand that. There's always been this sort of view at school age that the graduate route was in a sense the only way into quality employment. And apprenticeships offer an incredibly strong alternative, particularly at a time of cost of living crises and some of the challenges of inflation, where you can come into the workplace. In many cases, people can come through an apprenticeship and indeed get a degree at the end of it. Not all of them will do that, but without debt, and then with a job at the end of it. And I think that the more we can do as employers to sort of demonstrate that is not only just an alternative, but a very good alternative to the standard graduate track, I think it behoves all of us to make sure that young people see the importance of that, see the significance of it. And I think for us as a company, we do a very good job in the places that are close to our large centres of employment. But I think nationally, there's more we can do to raise the profile of apprenticeships.
And Charles, while we have you, there's been a lot of talk in the recent past about potentially the defence sector being deprived of capital because some investors won't invest on ESG grounds. Do you feel that the war in Ukraine has shifted sentiment among investors towards the defence sector?
I think it's fair to say that it is shifting. There is still some way to go. We've always maintained that ESG and ESG considerations are important, but all of that requires the foundation of defence and security. And without defence and security, it's very hard to give any credibility to the other aspects of ESG. So. Obviously, unfortunately, due to the conflict here in Europe, in the brutal invasion of Ukraine, I think that the case for defence and security has been more clearly made. I think, within all of that, it's then important for us to show as an employer the steps that we're taking to be a good place to work, that we look after the environment, the net zero things that we're doing. So they're all important considerations. But as a foundation, defence and security, has to be what modern democracies, freedom of speech, all the things that we take for granted are based upon.
All right, Charles, we have to leave it there. Really good to see you this morning, and best of luck with the events. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Still to come here on Ian King Live, we'll have a look at how global markets are doing this Monday morning. Don't go away.
And now it's coming from both sides and it's moving this way.
Only about half a mile from the Turkish coast, and it's evident that the boat seriously overcrowded. This is one of the most severe viruses in the world. I'm Alex Crawford and I'm Sky's special correspondent based in Istanbul.
This is going to be the biggest party Tripoli has ever seen.
That's it got us then. There's a lot of action going on, a lot of hits coming in still. We aim to be the best and the most trusted place in news.
Clearly not had very much to eat at all, a lot of them extremely thin and very frail. Look at her arms, I can put my entire hand round.
This is the cocktail of drugs which the doctors at this hospital have been giving their coronavirus patients. Made for people who want clarity in an uncertain world.
Mother Nature can be vicious, absolutely savage.
The world's largest falls now down to a trickle in places.
I can't imagine how much plastic is lying at the bottom of this huge lake. Whoa!
Close and personal with her, aren't they?
This is what makes the job so fantastic.
Well, stock markets in the Asia-Pacific region had a largely positive session overnight, with both Hong Kong and Shanghai finishing ahead by more than 1% apiece. That's ahead of a raft of economic data this week. The Nikkei in Tokyo, meanwhile, completed a 7th consecutive gain. That's its longest winning streak since July last year. Well, in Europe, stocks are largely ahead this morning. Here's the picture in continental Europe. Not many individual features for investors to hang their hats on this morning. In London, the FTSE 100 is also just about in positive territory, currently some 39 points to the good, half of 1% higher. That's on the back of gains for some of the mining heavyweights. The leading blue chip gainer in percentage terms right now, though, is the distributor RS Group. The share's up some 2.25% right now on broker comment. Outside the FTSE, the industrial machinery maker Renault is up 11% on a trading update, while the defence technology group Kinetic is ahead by some 4.25%. That's on news that profits for the year will be better than expected. Meanwhile, International Distribution Services, its shares are up some 5%. That's after its Royal Mail arm reached a pay deal with the Communication Workers Union. Meanwhile, Network International, which I mentioned earlier on, they're ahead 18% on that takeover approach, and Wood Group, which I also mentioned earlier, is ahead by some 7% for similar reasons. On the foreign exchange markets, well, the US dollar has strengthened following resilient retail sales figures that have raised expectations of another US interest rate rise next month. The pound is off by 0.25% against the dollar. It's off by 0.1% against the single currency. The euro, meanwhile, also off by 0.25% against the greenback. As for the oil price, well, after notching up another week of gains last week, it's a little bit quieter this morning. A barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $85.92 a barrel. That is off a little under 0.5% on the session. Well, joining me now is Russ Mould. He's investment director at AJ Bell. Russ, good to see you this morning. A lot of interesting bid situations around the mid-caps right now. Is this just because valuations are so low?
I mean, in the end, valuation, the price you pay, is the ultimate arbiter of investment return, so long as you think the business is pretty sound. So the fact that you've had a UK stock market underperform for many years, we've discussed before, and you still got a currency that's below where it was in June 2016 before the Brexit vote. So for an overseas buyer, that's an added bonus. So an unloved stock market can mean undervalued, unloved currency can mean undervalued, and that's what's attracting the money. And these bids, I think, are both from private equity companies out there where we know there's still a lot of money sloshing around.
Absolutely. Would you expect to see more takeover activity in the mid-cap sector in particular?
I think, in fairness, there have been 12 FTSE 100 companies taken over since the Brexit vote in 2016. Sky being one of them, I seem to remember a few years ago. That was one of the first out of the traps. There was Arm, Shire, Sky, went very quickly. Then others have followed, Aveva, Megit, GKN. Not all to overseas buyers, not all to private equity buyers, but the majority of them. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest, quite frankly. Fund managers may not be very interested in UK equities, but somebody is, and maybe that's a lesson that we could learn.
Absolutely. Well, and certainly with a lot of the trading updates that we've had, sparking some quite high upward valuations.
Yeah, I mean, Kinetic's an interesting example today. I mean, they've had a bit of a tricky time. There was one contract, a big contract, where they call it the complex contract, that cost them about £15 million. They're still a bit coy about who it was with and where, because they're still working out a settlement. But even if you look through that, underlying trading was actually pretty good, and now they're coming out of that, trading very, very strong indeed. Again, maybe reflection of the times in which we live, increasing defence budgets, increasing global security concerns, cyber security concerns, but it's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, now another one that's caught your eye this morning, an update to Page Group, the recruitment company.
Yeah, this is interesting because obviously employment numbers are still looking incredibly good. Unemployment rate very low in the UK, very low in the US. Even by European standards, it's not bad there either. They're much higher than they would be here. And it's just intriguing to see that the big double-digit percentage increases we saw in fees last year, they've eased right off. So there's a slight drop in first quarter fees year on year. The company's flagging a preference at employees to temporary rather than permanent contracts, which again reflects a bit of an economic uncertainty, and some candidates apparently holding off signing on the dotted line. So it just does suggest that even one of the strongest economic indicators we've had might be showing a little bit of signs of weakness.
Yeah, now later on today, big event for the bond market, more developments on the US debt ceiling debate.
Yeah, this is Speaker Kevin McCarthy talking at the New York Stock Exchange about the US debt ceiling, $31.5 trillion US dollars, I think, a bit more than 100% of GDP. There's a settlement needed by June or July, and this is probably bringing back some bad memories for bond, currency and stock traders from 2011 when there wasn't a settlement reached. And then Standard & Poor's took the very brave decision of downgrading US debt. And I think the Dow, the day after, promptly fell 600, 700, 800 points, where I had one of its then worst days on record. So the political angle, the Republicans, Democrats are setting out their stall for November 2024. But economically, they won't want to do something silly that means that the US borrowing costs go higher. Because if you've got $31.5 billion in debt, as you do, they're already paying $800 million a year in interest. And that's when interest rates were really low, and now they're catching up. Your tax income's $5 trillion. So if your interest rate keeps on going up, then that's less money for welfare or defence. So they are going to have to find a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 800 million, like that.
Sorry, yes, only.
Only. Good to see you, Russ. Thank you. Still to come here on Ian King Live, I'm going to be speaking with the co-founder and chief executive of Coinbase about the challenges still faced by the world of crypto.
COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day. But it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the
darkness.
The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
The best radio show.
Worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute you and we want to welcome you to the Monday edition of the Morning Show. Today is the 17th day of April, the year 2023. We return around 10:41 from the hearts of London. Starr Radio UK, the Morning Show. Let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olayomi Koike, HRH Linda Pallien, and to the one and only producer, Mr. Francis Gaye. You know what? It's a very, very wonderful day, and today happens to be the birthday of Mr. Francis Gaye, our able producer. And Francis, let me say massive happy birthday to you. More grace, more grace, more grace, and may the Lord continue to anoint your head with oil and prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Now, if there is anyone celebrating any good day today, or you celebrate something over the weekend and we didn't have the opportunity to do that, we want to do so this morning. I want to say happy celebration of any sort to you, right? Right. But to all our wonderful listeners, Kojo D, good morning to you. Felix all the way in Aberdeen, massive good morning. Bishop Adeshina, Pastor Momo, Pastor Chidi, Anthony Adedeji, Ola Kunle, good morning to you. Abdul Aziz, good morning to you as well. Sam Maxwell, wherever you are this morning, we say once again, welcome on board. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. It is Starr Radio. Okie do. Now, if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us on a Monday morning, this is how the program goes. I bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. We continue from there, and then we have a look at details of some of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria. We have this from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koike, who will be joining us from our North London studios. The program continues from there, where we look at some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe in depth, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As we say all the time, it's making the headlines. Why not? We're going to touch on it. And then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. We'll continue from there. And at 12:30, we'll take you to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Pallien is to continue with the Career 101 program. Then after which, we'll bring the program to a close. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen today. So wherever you are, once again, welcome to the program. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Okay, so wherever you are, stay tuned. Let's crack on. Knowing your priorities in life helps you to manage your time well, because it helps you to distinguish between the urgent and important things of life. So do you think that you are wasting your time on some things, or you seem to be wasting your time on some things? Please check yourself out, and then just make sure that you are using your time wisely, because time is the most scarce commodity that we can talk about. All right then, Starr Radio UK. Now let's go straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front this morning. On the weather front this morning for London and the southeast of England, well, this afternoon cloud will gradually break up with sunny spells developing from the east, but these will trigger a few isolated showers. Now tonight will be dry and there will be clear spells to start. An area of low and cloud and mist will drift in from the east, lingering through at dawn, but turning a little patchy later on. Top temperature 17 degrees, the lowest 6 degrees. Pollen level is very high, UV level moderate, pollution is going to be low. Sunset 20 hours, and then sunrise for tomorrow morning 0601 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It is Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick break and I'll bring you the travel updates. Wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's not 10:46. What is happening in your travels this morning? Well. On the underground this morning, I can tell you shortly, good service throughout the London, Tramlink, good service there, DLR, good service there. London Overground has got minor delays between Stratford and Clapham Junction, Richmond, due to an earlier signal failure at Richmond. Good service on all other routes though. Moving on straight to the major roads in London. Oh wow, for once I can tell you shortly, no exceptional delays. You can zoom through it like no man's business. So yeah, enjoy your ride there, but keep your eyes on the roads. Now we move on straight to the riverbank this morning. I can tell you shortly there as well, good service. Now on the London cable car, good service there as well. So now let's come to the final segment of the travel update. That is the national rail. Let's see whether we'll have it moving or working smoothly. But I can tell you shortly, no, that is not what. So continue to listen to us. Well, on cross country, London North Eastern Railway and ScotRail, they've all got minor delays. Also, Great Western Railway has got severe delays. If you can avoid it, do your best to avoid that. That aside, all the others, good service there. So all in all, I think it's a good day. It's a good day to travel if you are or you are embarking on your journey. But you know what you have to do? Whilst you're traveling, continue to stay tuned to Starr Radio UK. Keep your dials logged on Starr Radio UK. Don't touch the dial, but as and when there are any changes, as we do tell you all the time, we promise you one thing for sure. Without a shadow of a doubt, we'll bring it to the fore. And on that note, as I will do, or as I will say all the time, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10:51 the time. It's now time for Global Trotting. Let me tell you what is happening from across the globe. As we do say all the time, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, we're going to be touching on it. Well. There's a breaking news that is coming all the way from Sudan, and we're going to be bringing that your way. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial at all. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, well, when it comes to Nigeria, some of the stories I'm going to be looking at: Boko Haram attacks Yobe community, kills 11 civilians. Well, where are the Boko Haram people? Are they in Nigeria, or they come and commit the crime and they flee the country? What do you think? Well, if they know where they are, why aren't they trying to look for them? We know that Nigeria got all these helicopters and all stuff, but we've not seen any impact on that. But we'll be talking more about that in a moment. Guinean passport, Nigerian constitution allows Tinubu to hold dual citizenship. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll be talking about that. Yeah. We'll have to review the Nigerian constitution. I think we need to review it one of these days. And then an irate youth that killed one, set ablaze 64 houses over coronation of village head in Bauchi. Okay. We'll be looking into all those stories once we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. A lot more from there as well. Okay. Now, in other parts of Africa as well, death toll climbs in Sudan as fighting continues. Fighting for what and where? We'll be telling you more about that as well. Opponents form coalition in Senegal against Macky Sall's third term. I bet you the ECOWAS community leaders are all sitting on their hands or with their hands in their laps and waiting. And when something happens, they don't come and say, you know what, you're not supposed to be doing that. However, when one of theirs is saying, I want to go a third term, they will not be there to tell you that, no, you can't do that. But we'll tell you more about that in a moment. Well, lots more going to be coming your way from there on the African continent. Yes, moving on straight to what is happening in Ghana as well. Mahama to establish a governance advisory council in 2025. That is when he becomes the next president. That is what he wants to do. Now, do you think that we need a governance advisory council? We have, what do you call them? What's their name? Frank, what's the name of those people that they have as to help government in Ghana?
You are talking about the useless council of state. Are you talking about the useless council of state?
Well, Frank has he's put added an adjective to it. He said they are useless council of state.
But they are useless, aren't they? They are useless council of state.
So what is the point in him coming to set up another one?
That is a question we need to ask Mahama. If Mahama thinks is coming to increase spend. Because what do you call it? The Council of State is a constitutional mandatory thing.
Yeah.
Some of us have suggested to people who are vying for political office that, look, you need to establish a cross-party advisory board. Now, that cross-party advisory board sits around a table and then are able to make inputs into every planning, every budgetary, every project that is being taken care of by any department. So that when, for instance, the Greek department or whatever are coming out for a policy, what is the policy? How is it going to impact on the health sector? How is it going to impact on what they call the rural sector? So if you're going to do, you are doing probably outgrower scheme at let's say Isiakwa. Now that tells us that should it be successful, the food harvest there is going to increase. The road sector over there must be looked at. If the harvest over there increases, how do we ensure that those food sector gets in? And okay, the energy sector, do we have light in those areas so that we can then encourage people to start putting refrigeration or probably food? So it has to be a holistic planning instead of this time we are doing what they call this project here without linkage to other department. You might increase crop production, but you have not done anything about the transportation, about the roads, and so you've not done anything about electricity. You've not done anything to encourage a business to set up. If you are doing an outgrower scheme somewhere, the trade ministry should be looking at how do we create a mini industrial zone with probably incentives to drive agro processing industry. If that is what Mahama wants to do, then fine. Which would be a small advisory board with experts who will look at all the planning and say, okay, then we know we have what they call it, National Development Planning Committee and everything, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So if that's what Mahama wants to do, I will applaud him. But if it's going to be just another Kwango where we just assemble people that we think we know and people who think have political weight, just to waste money on them to come and drink coffee, tea, and be a useless advisory board, we don't want. We know when we talk about the city falling, this current Baumia and they established what they call a committee to arrest city. You remember that? There was a committee. That committee still there? It's a useless committee, isn't it? Franklin Kujo has to resign. Say, look, I don't know what you are doing in that committee because the city seems to have the dollar seems to have beaten all of us. So he called out about 20 member staff. About 20 people advisory council to arrest the city or whatever. I don't know whether the handcuffs they give them were not good enough. So if that's the kind of thing he wants to do, it's useless. It's useless. So we need to interrogate Mahama more.
We'll talk about the Council of State once we get on the discussion.
But it doesn't say the fact they are useless.
Hope you are doing well.
I'm doing well. I'm doing good.
Great. Well, listeners, Mr. Frank Davis for you. So prepare yourself. Lots more going to be coming your way from that part. But so on Global Trotting, now moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds. Interestingly, this morning I was monitoring some stories from Ghana, and somebody talking about the fact that he's able to smuggle up to 40 million gold worth $1 million worth of gold every month from the country. And this is a country that is going to the IMF saying that, you know what, we want you to give us 3 billion. Now, how many months would it take the country to accumulate that 40 million to get to that 3 billion that we're talking about? Couldn't we have actually, if we put things together, managing things properly, have that money for ourselves rather than going and borrowing? Well, we're going to be talking about all that. There are things happening, and I ask myself the question: these political elites there, what are they actually doing? Are they serving our interests, or they are serving their own pockets and their families and their what? Yes, we'll be talking about that in a moment. But it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. I have no recollection acting for Matthias or his company. Kufuado tells Al Jazeera. We'll be telling you more about that. The person said, the president is my palo. He said, I don't know, I don't remember. This one is like Trump saying, I don't know you.
With his age probably he's forgetfulness.
Okay.
What has Akufo-Addo remembered? Anything that has to do with corruption and crime, he doesn't remember. PDS, he doesn't remember. Anything has to do with scandal, he doesn't remember. And you think this guy is just stupid to be mentioning and
the president
and saying that you are my friend, so he doesn't remember his friends. God save us.
Well, God save the king. God save the president. All right, then let's move on. A last one. Let's come to other parts of the world as well. As I did say earlier on, explosions and gunfire in Sudan's capital as fighting rages on. We'll be looking at the impact. I mean, with what is going on, are they going to be able to return to civilian rule? What exactly is going on in there in the military hierarchy? We'll be looking at that as well. And Putin critic jailed for 25 years in Russia, and 4 dead and 28 injured at a US 16th birthday party shooting. Well, they said the gun laws, let's allow us. Let everybody have their own guns. Let's go shooting. When we see people, we can shoot at them, and then. But well, they say, now, you know what? If somebody is pregnant, we need to make sure that we protect the person, the features, not to be touched at all. Yes, that is good. But when they are birthed, then we leave them. Let them be killed. Is that what we're trying to do? Are we not being hypocrites? We'll be looking at all those in a moment. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. Now, if you're in the UK, well, the Prime Minister says that, the way forward now is to get everybody to study maths until 18 years. And once we do that, it will help our economy. Our economy will be good. With all the impact from the Brexit and everything, studying maths will be the one, or will be the thing that will actually sort our problems out for us. Do you think that is right? If you are not one who loves mathematics, or somebody, Felix would say arithmetic, common arithmetic, you don't like that, what do we do? How is that going to actually impact us? And if your words, I mean, we have some of them, they don't like it. They really, so all that they are looking forward to just shine it and just continue or concentrate on what they really like, or where they are very comfortable and where they've got the strength. What do you think? Lots more going to be coming your way from that. Yes, a minute after 11. Whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi to joining, let's enjoy this song. It is from the Shadrach Mensah in Ghana, called The Maximum Praise. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Hallelujah. Amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. Thine is the kingdom and power, the glory forever and ever. Unto you I sing hallelujah, amen. To the Lord in the
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
all around the world. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Okay, I hope that you enjoyed that music. We apologize for the way the sound was coming through, but hey, are you there? Are you hearing us? Are you here? Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite us to like our pages as well. In our North London studios, we've got Mr. Olayomi who has just joined in. So wherever you are, don't you go away. But let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Archie. And good morning to you, Frank, as well. Good morning to our listeners from around the world. And welcome once again to the Monday edition of the morning show. And it is, the 17th of April, 2023 at 7 minutes past the hour.
Yes. So how are you doing, sir?
Well, it's been a beautiful weekend. Just as the weekend, complete itself, it also means that 2 weeks elapsed for the children to be heading back to school. So we're doing very well. It's just that when is the first day of the week in school, you find it very difficult, to get them out of the bed and, let them understand that the holiday is done. But when we have the opportunity here as Africans, I was listening to you and and Frank before I came on board. The question that we ask ourselves is, what about the 20 million Nigerian children that are out of school today? And most of them are just wandering around with no hope. But like you said, I think about almost some tons of gold were taken out of Ghana. Well, it's always been like that in African country. And it seems that is one major reason why we are still backwards. I was looking at my LinkedIn this morning because I do a lot of posting there because it's quite a beautiful platform to engage with. And somebody actually posted that the GDP of Nigeria is the highest in Africa, going to South Africa. But somebody then asked, how come we are still the capital poverty of the world?
Well, somebody will say, Frank normally says that. He said, yeah, the figures, they just collect those figures and put them across and say, yeah, that is the GDP. We are doing very, very well. But we go to the village or that community and that poor person there, look at them and see whether it's actually impacting them in any way, shape or form. No, theirs have not been captured at all. All right then, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I said, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios, and it's time for us to have updates from Nigeria. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the story. Boko Haram attacks Yobe community and kills 11 civilians. Somebody say, what is new? We know that this is what has been happening. We know the President Buhari came in on that mantra that he was going to flush them out. Yet we've not seen anything. Now he's just counting his days to leave office. And we have another attack like that. Give us some more there.
This weekend has been another bloodshed in Nigeria. And it goes on and on. and it seems that the Boko Haram are back again on the loose. Let's take you back to Saudi Arabia, where Patami has traveled as well with the president. The president is probably making his way back, or probably still in the last few days. Buhari in Mecca to thank Almighty Allah for a successful 8 years as president. The president, alongside his aides, some traditional rulers and religious leaders, performed what they call the Umrah rituals and tight security upon his arrival at the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The president during the week embarked on official and spiritual journey to Saudi Arabia to thank Almighty Allah as he prepares to hand over the mantle of leadership to President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before going that as well, I can confirm that we also have a visitor to Nigeria, and that is the JSP Happy, the UK Minister for the Armed Force, for visiting Nigeria. Details of such visit is not in the open, but we do know that according to the Ministry of Defense here in United Kingdom, Minister JS Happy has returned to Nigeria to build on our long-standing defense relationship. Meeting with the CDS and the Jeffrey Oyema, they discussed how the two countries could collaborate to enhance security and stability in the Lake Chad Basin and the Gulf of Guinea and the wider region. Now let's come back to some of the atrocity that took place. You were actually talking about the Yobe community, but there is even more to the Yobe. I couldn't get that in before I came on air. And let me quickly give you, Lai Mohammed. I know this picture is going to come up in just about a few minutes. Is one man that tells the world, like Frank always say, it's very easy for him to travel to US, put up some media and say everything is working in Nigeria. But the question to those in some community that got heavy attack, we just want to get the picture of the Lai Mohammed, Elijah Lai Mohammed up and running quickly, and you can see, let's adjust that, because that has been well designed properly so that we can know the kind of person he is. So that is Lai Mohammed there. I don't know who designed that, but you can tell that Lai Mohammed is not going to tell the world exactly what is happening. Let me tell you what took place yesterday, with what we can call coming up to Black Sunday in Nigeria. And this is coming from the community that called for distress call. At exactly 11:46 p.m., I believe this chat was going on between, this community in their forum. We woke up with a Black Sunday. Fulani terrorists entered a community called Runji in our diocese yesterday, Saturday, the 15th April 2023, at about 10:30 p.m. Killed 33 persons, men, women, and children. 10 out of the 33 were burnt to ashes. 30 houses were burnt and destroyed. We just finished the mass burial. I've seen the video. We can't play the video of how they were buried yesterday, in that community. We've just finished the mass burial at about 4:56 p.m. Nigerian time. This is Sunday, 17th of April 2023. Please remember to pray for us in Zakowa Diocese and Zankokafa with the emoji of cry and their hands up and prayer. Distress call. This also went back to 16 of April at exactly 11:46. Reverend Jacob Kwaosha, the Bishop of Zankowa Diocese Anglican Communion, was sending this to Engineer Daniel. Verify multiple sources and our brethren are in distress situation. Of a truth, the evil Fulani terrorists resumed their crimes in Zanko Katafa. These bloodsuckers operated for hours without any counter or arrest by the military or other security agents. The Fulani terrorists killed over 67 innocent Christians within 20 days in just one local government of the southern part of Kaduna. The question is, are we in war in Nigeria?
Are we in war in Nigeria? And that is the question on the lips of most people. I mean, if people cannot go about their duties and everything, and we say we have a government in place where they are taking, I mean, it's not like we are not paying them or they are doing it for free. No, we are paying them. But this is so that's why I get a point when I ask myself the question: when we go to vote, who are we voting for? It should get to a point where people are saying we are not even going to vote at all. People are, because we are not satisfied with what they are doing. We don't want anybody. We're not going to vote at all. If people can stand or take that stand, then maybe our leadership will set up.
Yeah, but Archie, I think I'll allow me and Archie. I think I'll disagree with you people. At the end of the day, Nigerians have voted.
Yeah,
and they've been given a selected candidate.
Yeah.
So what do they do? You know, because voting is the power they have.
Yeah.
We don't want what is happening in Sudan. We do not want it.
We don't want that. Yeah.
As we speak now, the generals are alive.
Yeah.
Buhari will be alive. Should it happen, Tinubu will be alive.
Yeah.
Over 50 people have been killed already in Sudan.
Yeah.
But the generals are protected, they're alive.
Yeah.
So the only weapons we do have, which are the most powerful weapons, are the democratic route. Although we can escalate it a bit, which is, for me, targeting them in your communities and seizing them. And I don't want to go the Indian way.
Like they shot
the person in the community, point blank, live. And the person even didn't bother hiding.
Yeah.
It was a point blank shot.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Are you getting me? We do not want it to get to that, but at least that was a targeted attack within a community. Are you getting me? The people voted. They wanted someone else, and we selected another one for them. So what should we do as Nigerians? Declare that we will not vote, and they will tell you they organize their own boys to go and vote, that we participated, the opportunity was provided, we did not ask you not to come and vote. What are we doing? Actually, it's a dilemma. I say the community surgical approach is the best. Start targeting them within the community. We've seen the results in Ghana. They targeted what they call the majority leader, and the people are getting results because the rules are being done.
Okay.
That's instant results. No cabinet discussion on that.
Well, interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Frank Davis. Listeners, Mr. Frank Davis for you, Mr. Olayomi Kweken and North London Studios. I'm Archie here. Now, so, Yomi, when it comes to this security issue that is going on, now, it looks like when we talk about it, some people, we know there are people who are living their lives the way they're supposed to. So, people don't get it. They think that maybe we are just making some noise. But how real is it? Somebody living in Lagos, are they going to see anything of the sort? Somebody living in whichever state, let's say the federal capital, are they seeing anything of that sort? Or is there only some pocket areas, maybe in some hinterlands, that are experiencing those things?
Well, not to the large scale of what we are witnessing in Kaduna, but we're also experiencing similar, as well happening, as I can say, in Ogun State, which is about an hour, without the traffic. If you're traveling from Lagos State, officials are now looking for, a suspected kidnappers have adopted what we can call a trace official in Ogun State. So there's a lot of kidnapping going on as well. But like I said, the current situation happening between Kaduna and Benue State is becoming quite alarming. I saw some of the youths in Benue State came out as well. They were literally bitter. They were, crying for help. But it seems the help is not coming. And I mean, what Frank was saying was part of my, discussion late night yesterday with some of my listeners. That we don't want a situation where, the same crime that is happening, by the same politicians that are intimidating people. Where, what happened in India, where a politician, an ex-politician, was shot dead on a live transmission. Is not something that we want to see. We don't want to have a situation where the current happening in Sudan, but everything still boils back to the representatives. And as much as a lot of Nigerians want to change those representatives, there is also what we can call intimidation, and that literally means, as we speak today, APC have got 60 senators, while the PDP have got 32 in what is going to be one of the most challenged as well, or we don't know, the 10th Senate. The 9th Senate were probably like a rubber stamp. Are we going to see the same thing happening? Are they going to be there for the people, or are we just going to be, 4 years down the line and then we come back again? Some election happened over the weekend, but already those intimidation would not allow Nigerians to vote for their choice as well.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, do you feel secured wherever you are in Nigeria, or do you think that, well, the government can do more or do better? And some people travel from here to that part of the world, and they come and say that, look, we're not very safe. We don't see ourselves being safe there. But what do you think about all that? More going to be coming your way from there. Don't touch the dial. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We are streaming live on all our social media platforms and on our own apps as well. So get in touch and get on board as well and enjoy the program for today. Now let's move on to Tinubu, the president-elect. And I mean, if nothing happens, when I say nothing happens, if the court has got a ball to say that, look, the election to be rerun, and maybe evidence, they got enough evidence to say that, well, we think that it wasn't the free and fair elections per the assessment of maybe the courts, then maybe there's going to be a rerun or something like that. But if that doesn't happen, that means come what is it, the 27th or the 29th of 29th of May, Tinubu should be sworn in as president. But it looks like he's got dual citizenship, and is that constitutional?
Well, yesterday, throughout the weekend, I believe the first, we cannot verify that, passport, photocopy, but that is already in circulation, on the social media. And Fashola, that is one of the minister at this current government, the former governor, 2 times in Lagos State as well, was questioned around Tinubu. Tinubu has a lot of what we can call discrepancy in him as a person. I mean, when you talk about his age, I mean, he can't even tell those that he went to school with, from secondary up to primary. It seems even his community has been deserted. We can't know exactly. We know he's from Osun State in Iragbeji, but because he has spent more time in Lagos, he has become the landlord of Lagos State, and as it's called, Jagaban. The Nigerians believe that he's the right person, and they've actually voted for him, even though some disagree with INEC. But as usual, go to court is what the APC are saying. But these news, current update about a Guinean passport is something that a lot of Nigerians are now asking. The Tinubu actually told the truth while he was filling those applications to become the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Somebody was asked that question 4 times. He avoided answer to that question, and you can tell that the manipulation that the politicians put out there. Nigerian constitution allows Tinubu to hold dual citizenship, Fashola says. The Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says Nigerian constitution permit the president-elect Bola Tinubu to have dual citizenship. It was actually after, like I said, a Guinean diplomatic passport surfaced on the social media. Internet users went into frenzy over how the president-elect of Africa's largest economy and the capital poverty of the world lied to the National Electoral Commission while under oath. Star Radio UK. I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, I'm trying to see if the Nigerian, we could get a bit from the Nigerian constitution pertaining to dual citizenship. But let me come to Frank, because it is quite an interesting thing. Because if it is unconstitutional, then this should be something that can actually chuck his victory into the gutter.
And it can be prosecuted as well. Because if the constitution, I don't know what, I know for Ghana's constitution, you cannot be an MP if you are a dual citizen. You have to renounce it. Renounce it. In Ghana constitution, you cannot even be a president if you have ever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. If you have ever heard it before, you cannot be a president. That is in Ghana. That is Ghana constitution. In this country, I tried entering special services. I told you, because when I was growing young,
that was one of your thing.
I didn't love it. I saw myself be an investigator living in a remote area, and one of my favorite car was what they call Grand Cherokee. I pictured the color brown.
Yes.
Where I wake up, nobody knows what I'm doing. I work at that. I kind of coat. I used to watch Frank.
Yeah.
You know, the investigator. that America. So I pictured myself in him wearing that coat, even though I was in a hot area. I pictured myself there living in the village rooms. Meanwhile, I'm gathering intelligence. That was what I wanted. So when I came, I wanted to do that. Now they told me straight that, look, you can go and join the infantry, and you can work, but for special services and certain intelligence, if you are not the Queen's son or daughter, which is you have to be a British born citizen. Even that they consider how far your grandmother, whether it's your grandmother, first
generation or second generation
they
before
consider that.
Right, yeah.
Why do they do that, Archie? It's because of loyalty and allegiance to a state. That they know if you have ever had loyalty and allegiance to another state, you are not fully blooded. It's just like the Bible where we talk about fully blooded, you know. You have to be a fully blooded Nigerian. Are you getting me? If it can be proven, all one person, all someone needs to do is to do subject of our information request in the US. If they do subject of information request in the US because it's a public file, it will easily be granted. If that's what they've done, then Tinubu will need to go to court, or someone needs to go to court now to prosecute, to challenge his basically. And if that is the case, then he stands a chance of being jailed because he might have lied under oath.
Yeah.
Might have lied under oath because you're supposed to declare and you're supposed to sign to say that you believe to be for it to be true what you have disclosed. If you say he does not recollect, then I have to check him for dementia. Yeah.
Well, they say he doesn't remember some of his colleagues, and I said, well, no wonder. His friend. Yes, he doesn't remember.
No, but on this one, if he say he doesn't remember whether he has been a citizen before, if it is put to and say he doesn't remember, then at the end we have to check him into hospital.
Well, Yomi said we have to check him into hospital. But do you know from the top of your head what the Nigerian constitution says? Before you come in, Aziz Bedesari say good morning, brothers Koiki, Archie, and Frank, and the rest of the team. Good morning to you, Aziz. Thank you very much for watching us as well. Yomi.
Well, the Constitution, is a very, very important part of Nigeria. But as many Nigerians also believe that Constitution has been, one of the most, Constitution that has been brought in by the military, which is a military decree. But in terms of what Fashola is saying, to what the Constitution is saying, he's not even clear himself, during his comments, because he actually went on to say that, even what does that have to do, with his election result, because the last time I checked, I think the Nigeria Constitution allows you to have dual citizenship, doesn't it? The dual citizenship dimension, which has caused Tinubu to trend for hours on the Twitter and the other social media platform, likely dominate the public charter amid the ongoing election petition trial, because the potential of the legal action that will be instituted. But let's look at what the section 137(1)(a) of the Nigerian Constitution says. A person will not be qualified to be president if he has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of a country other than Nigeria. Nevertheless, the court have repeatedly interpreted a section of the Constitution as inapplicable to Nigeria born or a citizen born to either a Nigerian parent or both parents. But section 25 to 27 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution allowed dual nationality only for Nigerians of origin by birth and naturalization. Let's talk about the former Senate president, the former governor of Kwara State, Bukola Saraki, was a two-time governor in Kwara State, despite carrying a British citizenship, and went on to serve as the Senate president. But the charge of perjury will loom over Mr. Tinubu, who in his Form EC9 application for presidency told the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, that he had never obtained a citizenship of another country. But it seems that from the passport photocopy that has done online. We don't know whether it's a Photoshop, but his media have not responded in the last 48 hours to that. Maybe they're still thinking, how did they get hold of that?
Frank, I see that you want to say something, but he's talking about. That's why I was saying that we need to scrutinize that constitution to know exactly what it's saying pertaining to this. Because if they say that if voluntarily, because I heard that word voluntarily acquired, if you voluntarily acquired a citizenship, then you are not.
137A of Nigerian Constitution says again, person will not be qualified to be president if he has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of a country other than Nigeria.
So that he wasn't born maybe a Guinean, so that is involuntary. But this one, I decided that due to something I want to get this, and so that's voluntary then. So if he has done that, that annuls his position now.
Not entirely, because we don't know what the Constitution has said about renunciation.
Okay. Has he renounced it?
That is a question. Again, the Constitution, according to what Olayomi is saying and what he's reading, the Constitution also allows for dual nationals that are born Nigerians. So what it means is that Olayomi is a born Nigerian. He wasn't born a British and did not voluntarily acquire Nigerian citizenship.
Okay.
A Lebanese who was born a Lebanese came to Nigeria, started a business, became a Nigeria by dual citizenship, can never become a president of Nigeria. You must be born in Nigeria at birth. You must be in Nigeria at birth, which means both parents or one of them should have been a Nigerian for you to be born at birth. And then you could have acquired another citizenship through voluntary means. If you are renounce it, you still can qualify to be a president according to what the 1999 Constitution is saying. If that is the case, then Tinubu is on a safe ground on that level. However, when it comes to lying under oath, which is perjury, that becomes a criminal offense. We do not know what the Nigerian Constitution, which we need to interrogate. Probably we need a Nigerian constitutional expert in-house or to be able to speak to us on that. That if you have been charged of criminal acts before, you can still become a president. You recall in Ghana, Kwame Pallien, wanted to become a president, but because he's been charged, sentenced to prison before for treasonable offenses with criminal, he could not put himself out.
I was one of his campaign listeners at the time.
All right, okay,
that's when I was doing politics.
Okay. So your candidate did not tell you the truth. But at the end of the day, the good thing was that he went to court himself. I remember that issue. He went to court seeking the Supreme Court's interpretation of that, because it's better he does that before he tells you people to come and choke his money for nothing. So we need to know about that. So it's not all lost yet for Tinubu. It's not all lost yet. It's not all lost yet. But if you have had it and declared falsifying of documents
that have not had anything,
that is falsification of documents with the intent to deceive public office. For me, that is a crime for which he should not be sworn in.
Okay. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And it's gone, 11:33, the Monday edition of the morning show. Now let's move on. Let's go back to Yomi for some more stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, as days continue to count to the May 29, if all goes as planned, because not until May 29, especially with the court case that is going on and all such, it also seems that some of the election that was rerun in Nigeria over the weekend was not as different from the ones that have been done where ballot boxes are snatched. But the most important one was that Damawa State, where the announcement of the result came with a kind of a big surprise, and it seems that INEC is not satisfied, and that has now been put on hold, even though the APC candidate, the woman, has already done what we can call the Thanksgiving speech, even though the election is not yet completed. It shows that billions of dollars continue to be spent, but Nigerians are still causing more It's still becoming a little bit, worrying as well. Adamawa gubernatorial election loser declare winner by INEC. This is coming from, Atiku himself. Here in Adamawa, we are witness to a novel practice in election management where a resident electoral commission announced the loser of an election as winner. The former vice presidential candidate Atiku has described the purported declaration of Adamawa governorship election result as a game plan to upturn democratic wishes of the people in the state, just as so many other states, are still complaining, but they always say go to court, and that is where you can resolve the problem. Senate presidency, APC faces zoning hurdles as northern senators also join in the race, and that is becoming a little bit concerned because we do know that we've already have a Muslim ticket. It seems that the northern part of Nigeria APC caucus are also interested, to be the next Senate president, which is going to be the 10th Senate, as we know. The elections didn't come easy as to what started around 8 p.m. Okay, this is just, but again, from what we know, there's a push from the north to also take the Senate president as well. But we will have to wait and see how, the APC will manage the situation as well. If you're traveling out of Nigeria today, you might be witnessing Aviation Union have begun strike. I do not know how long that is going to be lasting for, but what we know is passengers are now stranded as the Aviation Union begin a strike. Just as so many other strikes have taken place in Nigeria. Last year we had about 8 months of Nigerian students out of school. ASU hasn't said much, but there has been information as of last week that there's going to be a strike. But again, activities in the aviation sector of the Nigeria have been disrupted, with many passengers are now stranded as Aviation Union today commenced their 2-day warning strike. So it's going to have today and tomorrow. Members of the unions have blocked the entrance to the Muritala Mohammed Airport domestic terminal, leaving passengers stranded. Maybe that might not affect the international side because it's two different airports here, but it seems that the local airport will be affected. I'm not too sure how many Nigerians are still traveling using a very expensive, flight, but those that can afford it would definitely won't be able to do those flight journey. And if you're traveling on the aircraft, you will probably not want to go on a 13 hours journey from Lagos to Abuja. I have done it before, but especially with the insecurity and the kidnapping and a lot of atrocity on the road, those that have the means will probably have to wait until those strike get back to normality. 11:37 time is quite spent already. Let's take one more and then we go straight back into the social media to what is happening. In every society, if the business is not working, if you can't get a job, let's remember that 41% of Nigerians will not be able to get a job, because of low industrialization in the country, the depth of the country and the inflation as well. But horrible roads, blackout, ruining businesses, as Abuja traders have also cried out. We've talked about this, so many times. It seems that the NEPA issue, is still not going anywhere. And as Nigerians that are having their small scale businesses, whether, hairdresser, whether you are selling the cold water, but you need that electricity, and it's got to be constant so that you can have a smooth operation. Whether you have a small office as well, I'm sure you remember these kind of images. I experienced it while I was in Nigeria, especially as a student studying inside a private a private hostel, not a boarding school. But most of the time we have to read through the night using these very dangerous electricity source of power. But that is still happening 24 years after we left Nigeria. Some Abuja traders have now urged President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, which is almost lasting, they probably have to be talking to the new president, to provide a conducive environment for their businesses to strive. I saw one of my videos that I did about 5 years ago traveling into, some of the, the farms in Nigeria, especially in the southwest, when I wanted to become, what we can call a very small scale off taker, whether to be, in support of a small business in Nigeria. And, each of the time we were moving through those, farms, the question is, if not the kind of vehicle that we were driving in, there is no way you can move your produce out, because nobody has actually done, those roads as well. So, and this is not happening just in Abuja, it's happening all over the place. Mr. Chidi says he has spent a lot of money on the fuel to power his generation, to preserve perishable product, and that is something that a lot of Nigerians are facing as we speak right now. Let's now go straight to the social media, and then I'll come back again to you at exactly 20 minutes before 12 noon. Go to court is trending, as we know. It's always been the trend as well. Go to court. When you go to court, then that literally means that you'll be able to do whatever you need to do from there. African Confidential says, I want to challenge Yoruba nationalists to channel all that energy we use in tackling the Igbos into reawakening the Yoruba nation movement that Dupe, Oniro, Onidaru, Onijibiti, Onitiri has clearly put to sleep with her deception and lies in the name of God. This should be our priority. We know that as Africans, we believe in God, it's part of us, even though we have our own tradition as well. But it seems that, God's name has been used as a lot of deceit and lies to so many as well. Festus Kiyamo is one person that back a lot of, criticism on the social media. It was actually, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow, because he came out to give us, his own statistics as the Minister of Labor to how many Nigerians they were even able to do what they call skill accusation. But he's come up with a post that one of the most confounding things you read on the social media is the dubious justification for abusive, disrespectful nature of some of these younger elements to the older generations, which is that they are justifiable angry with the older generation for allegedly mismanaging the affairs of our country. So the older generation does not deserve any respect, and then guess what? That anger now propels them to build a movement around a character who is straight out of the same generation they complain about, and who until last year was part and parcel of the political parties. Is actually referring back to Peter Obi. Remember that even as at 2019, Peter Obi was still the vice presidential candidate of Atiku. So it seems that there is no change with those obedient movement as well. And that is about it, this morning on the social media. And I'm going to come back again to you now in the studio, Mr. Archie and Frank.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, there's one thing that he says seems to be trending, and this one I've made some notes about it. That go to the court.
Yeah.
Go to the court. Now, I'll go to the court. If you tell me that we have an issue, I will go to the court, because I will. If I believe the court will give me the redress that I need, it is going to be a free and fair hearing. Okay, but we see this time and over, because our leadership are the ones who have appointed the judges or those on that panel, and we know that they are going to now just sing the voices of their masters. So if people are saying, other parties are saying, look at that, go to court. Look at that. In Ghana, they'll say election is go to court, because we know that we appointed those people. Now it gets to a point where people are looking at it and say, no more going to court, and we will see what is happening in Sudan in our own communities.
We pray it doesn't happen to us, but Archie, that is a possibility, and you're 100% right. If, like we keep on saying, if people lose confidence in judiciary, it's just like losing confidence in yourself. And anyone who has committed suicide, they will tell you that, psychologists will tell you at the point of committing suicide, the person has lost every single hope. That if anyone who commits suicide knows that the next 2 minutes something different might happen. Something different might happen. Probably their situation could turn around within a minute, within the next minute. They will know. Psychologically, all they know is that I am dead, and therefore let me just end it all. Once that kicks into their brains, they begin to do all kind of unthinkable. And I think that's what we're having in this case as well. Look, the court systems are not delivering.
Yeah.
If you do a survey and you ask 100 people today, do you trust a Ghanaian court? Do you try a Nigerian court? They'll tell you now which one, this one to now where from. They don't trust it, because we know that people who deserve justice are not getting the justice. Justice is now on sale in most of these countries. Or you either be powerful. I listened to one Canada Japan who will be going to for instance, where he was talking about someone who owns money 1.5 million, and they needed a help for them to cross to majority, and he has to pay 1 million out of his pocket to get the chairman of that party to step down so that they can get the independent board to become one. But what interests me in his submission, he said the man told him that, look, I owe this bank 1.5 million and I'm not being taken to court or arrested because I am a chairman of the MPP. If I step down today, tomorrow
they will arrest me.
So it tells you again how political office is being abused. As we speak, what do you call it? Staging.
Yeah.
It's not being looked
It's
not being looked into. So actually, within our political system, we need to correct some of those things. Yeah.
So Yomi, what do you think Nigerians will say about this go to court? Do Nigerians have confidence in the court system?
Well, go to court is the new phrase in Nigeria, because and it's actually trending at about almost 49,000. And let me just read some of the the response coming from Nigerians this particular hour. This says I'm just taking some of those go to court. Nigerians are reacting, okay, Showore is such a terrible being, the election is over, he refused to go to court. Do you know that do you know what he's doing? He's busy dragging Peter Obi, who came third, but left Tinubu and Atiku. Why? He was told by Tinubu that he didn't go do enough to stop Peter Obi. So you can see, some of the reaction there. Again, Preach Love says, Peter Obi's victory in Lagos surprised APC, says Fashola. Part 1, go to court. And that is also trending as well. APC served Senator Smart Adeyemi hot breakfast. He went on the Arise TV crying, Smart Adeyemi, go to court. Nigerians, so the reaction, has been a very, very big, and a lot of people know that, going to court is not going to solve, the situation, because, Buhari went to court so many times, he didn't get the result. Atiku went to court, he didn't get the result. Is there going to be any changes with the Peter B and Atiku going to court? Because we now have 2 as against 1 that normally goes to court. We can only speculate, but we will have to wait and see if going to court would be the new change of situation. Because if going to court means that the turnaround comes through the court process, will then the present elect president accept the result, in as much as they are telling everybody to go to court?
Wow. I think Olayomi may have to go to court. Olayomi, let me find out from you on the NEPA issue, the electricity issue. We know about 2 years ago there was this project about Ericsson. That, how far with that project? Because we're told that in 2 years' time, Nigerian energy sector should be seen a bit. Because I recall a contract was signed. We spoke about it, that Ericsson has moved in to change a lot of transformers. What is happening over there, Olayomi, please?
Do you mean with the energy?
Yes, energy sector.
Well, there hasn't been more changes, but they are pushing for the constitution to be amended so that each state can generate and also transmit. Because as we speak right now, with the 1999 fraudulent constitution, the military decree, you will not be able to do, you can bring in, but you won't be able to transmit. But if that changed, maybe, state like Lagos State that have the main river state, and some of those states that are doing very well might be able to produce their own electricity, and that will start, reducing the problem through the federal, transmission coming into the other part of the state.
Interesting. Now, you know what happens when it comes to issues like that. There are some stakeholders in there who are making money from the fact that the NEPA is not working the way it's supposed to work. Okay, those who are importing all these generators and those who are bringing the fuel in and stuff like that, they are making money at the back of it. So if electricity becomes normalized and everybody is getting it, that means their business gone bust. So they will do everything in their power to stop it, and that seems to be what is happening. What do you think?
Sorry. Olayomi is in the courtroom.
I was saying that most of the people, why Nigeria has not gotten out of this energy downdrams back in the day, it's because of the fact that there are some people, some stakeholders in there.
Oh yes, there's a lot. We all know that there's a different stakeholders, that operate within Nigeria. I've been following the import and the export of 2021. And it's quite interesting that what we export more at about 72.5% is our crude oil. We are not literally producing any other thing, even though most of other products that are export are the mineral resources. We know that we have the human talent that can be export as well, but that is not going as much as it is. So the stakeholders, those that are bringing in generators does not want, electricity to work. And likewise, there's just too many bottleneck. And Fashola that we talked about, as a former governor, was given to portfolio in 2015, even though Buhari took 6 months before appointing minister. And then when that comes, 2 portfolio was given to the star boy, Fashola, the power and the other sector as well. But eventually, till date, Fashola said he never promised Nigerians 24 hours electricity.
Well, so if you are listening to us from Nigeria this morning, that is your faith. Well, they didn't promise you, so if you don't get it, you can't question them. But what do you think about all this? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. Aziz says that you absolutely right, Mr. Archie. Thank you very much, Aziz. Our people, I don't know why we let them to come and rule over us.
No, no. Let's stop saying we let them.
We appoint them, or they are appointed.
They are selected. See, from what we are witnessing in Nigeria now, it's like we all go to vote, but a few select or whichever selection. So I want to exonerate a lot of Nigerians going forward. That majority of Nigerians might not have wanted a particular candidate, but the person. So, let them blame them. We shouldn't blame them, because if I've gone to vote for someone, the person has probably won clearly, and they've imposed another person. How do I take the blame?
Well, I did what I had to do.
I did what I have to do. So the majority of Nigerian players, let's pay them.
Wow. Thank you. As it says that they are the cabas in charge, and that's the ones who are causing all this pain to citizens. Well, listen, this is a very, very sad one. Okay, Yomi, before you go.
Well, Archie, Frank, will take you through the rest of the segment of the program. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing a little bit into, how much, Nigerians got a job, in the 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, based on the data that they are releasing, which we're going to discuss tomorrow. But for now, I leave you in the good hands of Archie and Frank. It is Star Radio UK, the morning show, and I'll be back at exactly 11 o'clock, same time. There is no time difference between us and Nigeria now. We are running parallel, same time, and that is almost few minutes before noon. And have a very good afternoon for those of you watching us on the other part of the globe. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Star Radio UK. We're going to take a quick break. I'll bring you some lovely music. And it says, chase those crazy ball heads out of town. Well, how do we chase them out? When we go to vote, if we don't get them out, maybe we have to find another means. There's a place in Accra, they call it ways and means. People go there to go and drink. We have to find some ways and means to get them out of power. Do you think that is possible or plausible? Well. Enjoy this music and I'll be with you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Crazy, just those crazy ballin' all them down.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
All them down. And I build a cabin, and I plant the corn. Did my people before me slave of this country? Now you look me with the scorn, and you eat up all my corn. You're gonna chase those crazy, just those crazy, just those crazy ballin', just those crazy ballin' all up down. Still if they stop, still stop, still ever, still leave me baby tapo.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Still your backpack, still your backpack, yeah. Still your penitentiary, we build your school. Friend was education to make us the fool. That's a reward for our love.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
We're gonna chase those crazy, just those crazy, just those crazy ballin', just those crazy ballin', all up down. Here comes the gunman, coming with his gun plan. We won't take no bribe, we got to stay alive. We're gonna chase those crazy, just those crazy ballin', just those crazy ballin', just those crazy bumpin', just those crazy ballin', all up down. Hey, oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now exactly to a minute to 12. So let me announce the lines open whilst we get on with it because
We're bringing you Career 101 at 12:30 as well with HRH Linda Pallien this afternoon. So wherever you are, yes. If you want to join in the conversation, 0208-133-2257 or 58. 0208-133-2257 or 58. Happen to be in the US, Canada, the Caribbean area, it is 001-718-303-2737. 001-718-303-2737. You can text or WhatsApp at 07539661744. 07539661744. You can tweet at us as well. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and our email address is info@starradiouk.com. Whatever you do, make sure that you let your voice be heard, or you can put your comments there as Aziz as that as well, so we'll know exactly what you're thinking. What about that? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. Okay then. So now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, namely this time round in Ghana. Where the story pertaining to a gold smuggler is alleged to have been saying that he has links with the presidency or the president as a person, and also that he is his defender, okay, or whatever it is. We'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. And also making the rounds this morning. Okay, making the rounds this morning too, pertaining to what is happening in Sudan at the moment. We're going to be telling you more about all that in a moment. So stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right. So in Sudan, the death toll has risen. Now tensions have been brewing for weeks between Sudan's two most powerful generals, who just 18 months earlier jointly orchestrated a military coup to derail the nation's transition to democracy. Over the weekend, those tensions between the armed forces chief general Abdel Fattah Burhan and the head of the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, erupted into an unprecedented battle for control of the resource-rich nation of more than 46 million people. Both men, each with tens of thousands of troops deployed just in the capital of Khartoum, vow not to negotiate or cease fire despite mounting global diplomatic pressure. It is a deadly setback for a country at the crossroads of the Arab world and Africa, which 4 years ago ended the rule of a long-time dictator, in part through largely peaceful popular protest. The recent negotiation had been underway for a return to the democratic transition that had been halted by the October 2021 coup. Now, under mounting international and regional pressure, the armed forces and the RSF signed a preliminary deal in December with pro-democracy and civilian groups, but the internationally brokered agreement provided only broader outlines, leaving the thorniest political issues unsettled. Now, during tortuous negotiations to reach a final agreement, tensions between Burhan and Dagalo escalated. A key dispute is over how the RSF will be integrated into the military and who will have ultimate control over fighters and weapons. Now, Dagalo, whose RSF was involved in a brutal crackdown during the tribal unrest and pro-democracy protests, also tried to fashion himself a supporter of the democratic transition in March. He slammed Burhan, saying military leaders were unwilling to relinquish power. Now, analysts argue that Dagalo is trying to whitewash the reputation of his paramilitary force, which began as brutal militias implicated in atrocities in the Darfur conflict. Now, Wednesday, the RSF began deploying forces around the small town Merowe, north of capital. The town is strategic, which is a large airport with its large airport central location and downstream electric dam and the Nile on the Nile River. My apologies. The next day, the RSF also sent more forces into the capital and other areas of the country's of the country without the army leadership consent. On Saturday morning, fighting erupted at a military base south of Khartoum, with each side blaming the other for having initiated the violence. Since then, the military and RSF have battled each other with heavy weapons, including armored vehicles and truck-mounted machine guns in densely populated areas of the capital and the adjoining city of Omdurman. The military has pounded RSF bases with air strikes. On Monday, dozens of people have been killed and hundreds wounded in the fighting. Now, I've got with me Mr. Frank Davis in the house, and let's look at Sudan. Because we were thinking that where they got so far, we were teetering towards some peaceful, what do I call it, administration coming to being, or civilian administration. We've seen the demonstrations that have gone on all this while, and the fact that government has actually clamped down on them, and it's this RSF who were the perpetrators, or the ones who were seen to the clamping down on citizens. Okay, but they seem to be finding a way to blame the military in power, that they are the ones who don't want to relinquish power. So what we've got into now is a peace deal all gone. What are we going to be seeing? Because now two elephants are fighting, or as a Ukrainian leader did say as well, spiders eating themselves up in a jar.
Archie, you say when two elephants are fighting, the grass is what suffers. Before I even come to the military issue, one thing that touched my heart yesterday, which I think the man deserves our commendation and applause. These same people, the person they ousted, the democratically elected or the transitional leader that they ousted, held a press conference pleading with them that for the sake of innocent citizens, they should stop the fighting. If they will not stop, they should provide a safe passage for the civilians. And for me, Archie, that is
statesmanship
of a statesmanship. All these people that you're seeing, for me, I look at it as rats. Fighting, killing each other. What do they want? Power. What do they want? Power. You look at Archie, that country, I don't know. Wait, look, we're here talking about it last week. Look at the destruction that they've caused. Even if you come, are you going to rule over that destruction?
No.
And how long is it going to take you to start rebuilding certain things back? Actually, I just hope that, look, whatever peace, my wish is that the two of them could be eliminated.
How? Because the citizens have protested.
The two of them could be should be eliminated. And you ask yourself again, what is the regional body doing? What protocols are there? But you see, all this, the guns and other things are coming, to a point where jet fighters were being used
in your own communities.
In their own community, bombing. I look at it, I was like, hey, that's why, you see, when you see all these things, and you are in Nigeria, you are in Ghana, you are in other countries, and other things are happening, you are restrained. Citizens look at it, we don't want to go that way. But if we with citizens, this is what we should protest against. Against should tell us that when we are in communities and politicians come to us trying to recruit us, we should just take a look at what is happening in Sudan. Now Africa is full of wars, rumors of wars. I don't know if the world is going to, Jesus is going to come from Africa.
We don't have Mandoli in Africa, so maybe we have to create our own Mandoli, and then maybe some way, somehow he will come there.
You don't have your mandolis. Didn't you hear someone was Jesus and they wanted to prosecute you? They wanted to crucify him during Easter.
And he said what?
Oh, he said he was what they call it, Jesus. So the people, it's in Uganda. People decided they will crucify him on Easter, and then he ran to the police. He ran to the police.
He ran to the police. They should crucify him. Jesus, let him resurrect.
Because he was telling them he was Jesus. Community telling people he was Jesus. Jesus, the one who has come again. He has all the powers of Jesus, and the second coming of Jesus. So okay, no worries. On Easter day, Good Friday, we'll crucify you again. Straight to the
police. It's sad. It's sad.
Actually, it's sad. I watched it over the weekend. I was like, yesterday I ended up. I was watching it. I ended up sleeping in the sofa in the living room, and actually, it's sad. And you ask yourself, when? You know, innocent people.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. 10 minutes past the top of the hour. We got a short time, so let's try to just trash all the other stories now. ECOWAS stood up one day after the Mali coup d'etat and the Burkina Faso and which one was there as well, and started chastising them for what had gone on. I remember Guinea, was it Guinea or Guinea-Bissau, one of the places where there was an attempted coup d'etat or something of the sort, and then we had ECOWAS just trooping in trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now,
Burkina Faso
and Mali. Yeah. Now we have Senegal. Now, so far they've been a peaceful country.
Right.
They've done. I mean, when it comes to civilian rule, they've done very well there. Democracy. However, now Sal is now trying to. That's why I was asking the question: go to court. Am I going to get a proper redress from the courts? Because you know that for all that we are saying, people are saying that you've done your 2 terms. Though there's been a constitutional change, you still done your 2 terms. So if you say you want to go another one, it's a 3rd term. But like the Togolese leader did, they spin something, and Ouattara also did. Yeah, Ouattara also did. They're spinning the same thing, and we have the ECOWAS leadership quiet, resting.
Yeah, on the side of the Senegalese themselves, I think I'll go with Felix's line that Senegalese have always found a way of resolving their own internal problem, and the indication South sent the other way that he's ready to have a discussion on the proposed amendments. Probably signifies a very genuine path forward.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the regional bodies, actually, for me, yes, they might say, okay, you don't want to directly interfere unless democracy is being. We're gonna look at what makes up democracy, the respect for the law, and who must respect the law. Because at the end of the day, if, for instance, you're doing what the constitution does not say, you're going against it, then you have overthrown the constitution.
Yeah.
Basically, that's treasonable offense to me. Well, they will tell you, well, the constitution has changed. So which constitution are we using? Are you using the old constitution or we are using the new constitution? And it's just like the way people say the Bible. Are you of the law or are you getting
of the grace?
The grace. So at the end of the day, I am not of the law. So the old constitution does not apply to me. We are not by the grace. The new constitution is the grace. So that's what we are applying. That is the argument that they are making. So I don't know if the new constitution, there's a clause over there again that links that we look at individuals. So that it doesn't mean that under a particular constitution, but it means that once you have ever become a president before, you cannot. So again, that's what we might have to do. But if he succeeds in extending his term, then we know that's a loophole in. I wouldn't want them to go and fight because of that. We should know that is a very loophole, and all our lawyers slept on their job. Because we should have known.
Scrutinize that.
We should have known from what happened in Ouattara's regime. We should have known from what happened in Togo that there are crooks, presidents. There are people who want to entrench themselves in power, whom I want to exploit the same, because what the template that is implemented is same template. Ouattara did. So if you look at it, it's a copy. Why should I reinvent when it has worked somewhere? And that's exactly what Sal is doing. But I wouldn't want them to take to arms because of this. But what we should be doing to how do we initiate change? Even if he has to go now, let's initiate change while he sees there. That's why you see Togo, for instance, the change they've done now, he's initiated a change.
Yeah.
The Togo constitution now is specific about how many terms you can go. But they say the constitution takes effect, or that clause will take effect after he had finished serving and had voluntarily left. So it does not apply to him.
Yeah.
At least we know that.
So we just waiting, we just buy time, and then we get there.
If you can turn yourself in mosquito and bite him to that quick, let him do that. Are you getting me? But until then, you don't have to wait. He might decide to go like a queen, to become a monarch. Stay there for which your constitution would have been basically useless.
Yeah,
but
because as far as I'm there, you can't touch me. The constitution doesn't apply to me.
That is it. You know?
Wow, it's a sad one. Samsudin, good afternoon to you. I hope you are doing very well. So God bless you, Yoruba Nation. God bless you, Samsudin, as well, for joining us as well. It is Starr Radio, okay? Now, 12:15 the time. Let's go to Ghana. Now, let's touch on this and then. Now, a Doha-based international news channel, one of the popular one, Al Jazeera, have revealed that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo responded to their request for information in respect of an allegation made against him by a notorious gold smuggler. The self-acclaimed smuggler, Canadian Alistair Matthias, is on record as saying Akufo-Addo was his friend and lawyer while speaking to undercover agents in a 4-part documentary on Zimbabwe known as Gold Mafia. At the tail end of the 4th episode of the Gold Mafia, titled Have the King with You, a number of accused persons, including Alistair, denied all the things they had said on tape and which had been recorded by undercover agents. The part specific to Ghana reads, Mr. Matthias denied ever being awarded any tender by the Ghanaian government or entering any government contracts in any African country. Now, President Akufo-Addo of Ghana told us that he had no recollection of acting as a lawyer for Alistair Matthias or his company. A text on screen by Al Jazeera. So whilst the broadcasting was going on, but the question is now, if this man who was boasting that, look, I'm able to smuggle up to what, $40 million worth of gold a month, and this is a country where in Koforidua, Ghana National Secondary School, people were sleeping in toilets.
Archie, I'm going to make some controversial statements. And please, if you have a pen, I'm going to draw some this thing. In that report, you mentioned the gentleman. Where does he come from?
He comes. Canada is a Canadian.
But where is he? Where is he based more?
Now, is it Zimbabwe?
Okay, note that name down carefully because certain formations are going to come out in future.
Okay,
note that name down. Number 2. It's not coincident that we have Nyantechi mentioning similar thing.
Yeah, the same template.
Okay, note that down. It is not coincident that Frimpong, Dr. Frimpong, who was in charge of Galamsey, came publicly recently to say the Galamsey dealers themselves are
those in government,
like the Jubilee House, right?
Yeah.
And it's also not coincident that the guy is saying that he knows the president, the vice president, and everybody in the Jubilee House. And if he smuggles gold, it is not coincident. It's also not coincident that we now have a policy called gold for oil. Say, Archie, there's a triangle that is coming up. And in that triangle, there's a World Bank advisor who was at Zimbabwe. And I told you before that the only independent MP, Mr. Maliswa, close friend who flies to Ghana almost frequently, is Baumier's friend. Archie, let's leave it there. Archie, let's leave it there. You see, at the end of the day, Archie, things are not just happening in vacuum. Gold for oil, we've asked the question.
Yeah.
Why can't you sell the gold
And then use the money to buy the oil.
They said no, it's innovation.
What innovation?
A clear attempt to print money, number one, and a clear attempt to get our friend who has our money. Who has our money to use to pay for gold, to use to pay for oil,
and then
for us to legitimately wash the money.
Money laundering, serious one.
Archie, you know what?
Gosh.
The president says he doesn't know. I'm saying if he doesn't know, we should check him whether he has many dementia. Probably has a bit of frontal dementia. So, Archie, look, this government has set itself up to use every illegal means. It's not about money, it's not about wealth. It's not about wealth. It's not about what we do. The money is saying, look, I handle money for them. When they give you a contract, I sell the contract to you. And then, if it is 100 million contract, they award me 100 million contract. I'll sell it to you 80 million.
Yeah.
I'll keep the what they call 20 million.
Yeah.
But in that 20 million,
I take a 5 million, and then the 15 I deposit it
in the 5 I hold it or deposit for them. And that's when they need it, I give it to them. They tell you pay for this, pay for this, pay for this, pay for this. Actually, and that is exactly that is happening. Not even international level, local level. That is why every contract that is awarded is inflated one. So you are the contractor. I give you a contract. The money comes to you from the state as genuine money. You hold it, and that's why you donate back.
Okay.
That's why you have sponsors. This person has paid for this. We're doing campaign. Baumia is going to do campaign now. Baumia is not going to take money from his own personal account. You see, individuals are going to pay for donating. This. They are going to pay for this. They are going to pay for this. Why? It's because they have already used the system to steal the money, and the money is with the people. That is what they're doing. That is why in Ghana, in Nigeria, in most African countries, we need to look at the link between political funding. Who is giving money? What are they benefiting? You recall in this country, I was just telling Francis on the other side, Dyson during COVID. Well, look, I mean, Boris Johnson had a meeting with Dyson. We were looking to investigate the relationship between Dyson and the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister. Has the donation that he gave influenced a contract to him to basically produce
I've forgotten the name of that thing.
Defibrillators or what they call it.
Defibrillators.
I use them. Is there anything to do with that? It's because we do not want money to directly influence a decision people take in government. But in our case, money decides our policies. We know we have lobbyists. Fine. We have lobbyists. But actually, even in this country, we have lobbyists where MPs are lobbied to do a certain way. But in our case in Ghana, you can buy anything that you can buy your freedom, you can buy the government. As we speak now, MPP was bought. The majority in MPP, the majority we have Parliament, the decisions that we have in Parliament was not voted for, but was bought. Because when Ghanaians voted, they voted for one independent candidate, a split of 350, hoping that the independent candidate will look at issues and decide where to cast his vote. But what then happened? They bought him. So a lot of decisions that we have in Parliament today were not, I mean, what the public, according to the decision, that's not what we wanted. We wanted a 50-50 Parliament, an independent, deciding factor who cast the votes. But what did we do? Canada Japan bought it, and therefore the two of us, what we wanted, our grandfather, grandmother, what they voted for, that's not what we're getting.
And that is when I ask the question again. We say we are practicing democracy, and we say, oh, when you say anything, like they say, go to court. Oh, let's wait for the 4 years, and then we see that our resources is being just drained and consumed by people, and people are being made poor daily.
Actually, the most unfortunate thing for us is that it's not going to end now, because you see, in the olden days, I was watching a movie. It's a documentary about this British Queen Mary, how she was beheaded with the brother
Queen
George,
of Scots, yeah.
No, not the Scot.
Not
the
the
one,
Queen Mary,
the French, the Norfolk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
yeah,
Norfolk
yeah,
they
yeah.
saying, and then the brother, how they were beheaded, accused of, infidelity and other things and other things.
Okay.
Actually, I was watching it and I was like, you know what? There are certain things that we take for granted is not part of the world. People fight. People make sure that whatever they are saying, whatever they want to do, is genuine. Our part, we do not do that. Look, the people who should hold the society together at that time in Britain, that's 15 something.
Yeah,
I think she was beheaded 1527 or something like that. The church, the Catholic Pope, had authority.
Yeah,
and her crime at that point in time was that the Catholic did not sanction her marriage to the king because the king had a wife, and although they have separated, divorced, because the king's wife was still the queen, was still alive, she couldn't have the blessing of the Catholic Church. So the church was so instrumental in strengthening the society. Okay, until when the queen died, and then she became happy, and then she was the only survivor until Oliver Cromwell and others started plotting against her, which he actually masterminded. The church today, the religious bodies today, the palaces today, who should hold the moral high ground for our society, are as bad as the politicians. In fact, the other politicians themselves. Actually, there's a name I will not mention, but Jay Manson declaring Akufo-Addo as president was coming from a church body. And I'm telling you today.
Is it?
Yes, it was a church personality within Ghana who plays that final call.
That declare him
and will move into action.
Oh wow.
And that's why when they've done, then they move with their cassots. Oh, let's go to Mama, let's go to this, let's go. Something nearly happened recently. I'm going to tell you confidentially. Now let me tell people, I'm not going to mention it. You see, when Boku crisis happened, you see, they said they were going to arrest a chief.
Yeah.
They arrested, and within a short time they released the chief.
Yeah.
Archie, the Christian Council was meeting. They had arranged, and I'm telling you this on authority, they had arranged to fly the chief imam. They have arranged for a helicopter to go take the chief imam there, just to go and pretend that he's strong, just to broke up, which was something good that they were going to do. But then we had a stupid noise that arrest him. You know what the problem that him brought to even the Christian Council itself and Peace Council? That announcement alone, the infighting that he brought, the conflict they had with the president, the conflict they have with the Jubilee House, and how people were angry that we made you the administration you are today. And actually, let's move forward.
Oh wow.
So actually, we'll continue to do politics from behind the scene. Our work demands that we take no sides but remain neutral, and then we'll work from behind the scene. We'll continue.
Wow. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Let's try to see whether we can capture or touch on a couple of stories, and then we will bring the first part of the program to close. And as we were in our introduction, a breaking news coming through. A police officer has been charged with 3 counts of raping a woman while on duty in Plymouth in 2009. A police officer has been charged with 3 counts of raping a woman while on duty in Plymouth in 2009. We'll be bringing you more details of it as we go on. But in other parts of the world, as we were saying, now I did during the introduction, they talk about the gun laws in the US and the fact that we have the conservatives who are mainly evangelists, what do they call them? Is evangelists or
the conservatives?
The conservatives, which are evangelicals. Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much. Now they are the ones who stand for the fact that look, abortion laws shouldn't. I mean, we have to stop people from committing abortion.
From
conception. But then we get to a point where people are birthed, and we say let's allow them to be slaughtered like chicken. Now another shooting took place in Alabama, and it talks about the fact that it was somebody celebrating their 16-year-old girl celebrating their birthday, and people being shot.
They tell you that you expect to be rational. They tell you that human beings is not a gun that shot a person, but it's a human being that shot a person. So the gun is not a problem, and therefore individual rights must prevail. We have the right, our human rights, and therefore, if anything at all, is a person that was in possession of the gun, that is a problem, and it's not a gun. But interestingly, when it comes to abortion laws, they do not limit that to the person carrying the baby. Is their body.
And
they don't do
meanwhile, that is when the person is the one contained. Has it.
Actually, it tells you the two stands. I mean, what they believe in, their ideology. But the question is that, Archie, if the guns are not a problem, we all know, even if you are driving, so your car's poor, you travel less, you move less. Unless you are forced or you have to go to work. Okay? If I have to visit people, I cut it down if I'm not driving.
Of course. You cut it down. You want to just.
It then tells us that when you have a gun, when you have access to certain things, the propensity of you, it increases. Actually,
you're right.
When you are hungry and you have food in the kitchen, you eat more. You when you have this in the month. In the absence of it, you tone down. And again, our emotions, our adrenal rays have a way of acting. When we get to anger, when we have put to anger, certain things disturb us, and we get to that point of let's destroy, let's do something, let's revenge, our brains begin to look at the devil in us, becomes more active. If I do not have a gun, the nearest thing I take is probably a knife. A knife cannot cause as much damage as a gun will cause. If I do not have neither of them, I then begin to think of what else to do.
A stick or a stone.
A stone. Can I shoot someone? Can I kill people? How many can I kill with a stone and other things? I mean, when they are not boulders from a Jope or Mountain Gaming. Are you getting me? So I seriously think that, look, the guns need to be controlled. There are sensible ways of doing it. In this country, there are private people with guns. But they go through certain scrutiny, certain police, even the way you keep the gun in your house. It has to be in a secure place. It has to be locked. The key has to be where no one can see it, or children cannot have access to it. So that by the time you go to take that key, coming to open that lock, your brain
you would have gone through lots of processes for your brain to,
They did not do it by accident. They did not put that system in place that you need to have 1 or 2, 3 locks to be able to, because probably before, between there might be intervening. Actually, I've had a personal experience where I nearly told you that I nearly murdered someone. I nearly murdered someone with a cutlass. If I had a gun, probably it would have been easier. And the only person who saved the person was my mother, because at the end of the day, I had access to the cutlass. I traveled all the way to the village. Had access to the cutlass. And was pulling the cutlass out of this and was going to march straight to the person and butcher the person. Unfortunately for me, and fortunately for the person, and again fortunately for me, my man had traveled there. I said, who is there? I said, Frank. I said, what are you doing here? I said, this. They said, don't. Out of anger, I traveled all the way from Accra out of anger to come and court. If I had a gun, Archie, probably I would have done it. So you see, I seriously believe that the US needs to do a rethink again. They cannot be preaching human rights to people when people are being slaughtered on the street because the system is aiding their killing. We cannot take the system out of it. If we say, okay, America is a land of opportunities, make America great. What they call Trump America is a land of opportunities. Means America provides opportunities for people.
Yeah.
Right? If America provides opportunity for people, well, I mean, we are not saying that all those opportunities being are human rights opportunities, because hey, if you have effective bridges, if you have effective telecommunication system, effective stable light, job opportunities and other things, it provides you opportunity to be able to make good use of your time, your talent, and your life. So if we provide again access to what they call guns, we're telling people that make use of the guns the way it will solve your problem.
Of course.
Because if I work, it solve my economic problem. If I have gun, it solve
my anger problem. Interesting. It's a very sad one, but well, listeners, let's leave that one there. We'll have the time to talk about it again. But let's come to the UK, a final story, and then we go. I know Frank is good in maths. I love maths as well. I remember teaching somebody maths, and Frank is telling me that that maths that you learned in secondary school, that method that you are still using. I said no, it was good. It didn't help the person though, but I don't know where the person is. Interesting. But compulsory math studies till 18.
Yeah.
And you think that will help economy?
Actually, I think it will help.
How?
Okay. We have to look at the purpose of education. Courses are designed not because you finish and you become or you get a job in that very field. How many classical job do we have, opportunity do we have? How many librarians are we going to have? Drama, how many people end up being drama? There are a lot of courses. I mean, if you look at pastors, how many of them originally went to school to be pastors? That were most and other things. What mathematics does and what science does, especially mathematics, is about logical thinking. It's about logic and logical. It trains your brains to be able to analyze things. Logical thinking, analytical thinking. Look, when you're reading, the difference between English and maths, for instance, or language, for instance, language, some of us were not good in English. Maths were our best subjects. Not that we're not good. I mean, we're good, but if you look at my performance in English, when I'm getting A maths, probably I'm getting B minus or in English, because it's something I didn't bother.
It wasn't your forte.
It was my because maths to me was the easiest of the subjects I had throughout my education. I can go and be playing table tennis.
It's there. You see that? You just look at it. And it's okay.
And throughout my life, all the awards I won were all throughout maths.
Okay.
What it does, in my view, it helps in logical thinking and analytical thinking. A lot of people who can think on their feet are very good with maths.
Yeah.
A lot of people can think on their feet. Now, if where we are moving as an economy, we are moving from much of agrarian state. We've moved from there. Agriculture, percentage of agriculture contribution to GDP always, the number of people is, and we're moving to a fully digital life now, where everything is computing. Everything is about mobile phone. Even we are now having what GPT. Are you getting me? We're having sophisticated computing. Then you need brains that will be heading towards that direction. It's going to come to a point where story writing is going to, because I can ask even now, those who have job as secretaries are losing their jobs. Because I can sit behind my computer, and once I'm talking,
it's just
mobile phones now. Mobile phone now are very good comprehension and grammar. So sometimes you type in something you want to say, it prompts you and it tells you,
this is what you are. The spelling is wrong. This is the.
I mean, to a point where the mobile phone don't even understand our shorthand. So if I say you say I am, because we want you to do correct. I mean, what they call Queen's English. So actually, I'm not saying it's the only thing, because If we do that, we exclude people. But at least let's encourage everyone to be able to. They might not be very good at it, but let's encourage them to see the need and to be able to understand. Again, when it comes to money management, when it comes to figures, I think it is quite okay. I've gone to places where the moment you put maths or you tell a pupil about math, they begin to cry. We want to take that fear out of them. We want to make it a subject that is loved. I mean, a subject that is like a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go to what do you call it? Let's demystify math. If we can do that, we get a long way.
Yeah.
And math, let's begin to see math in our daily lives. In our daily life, everything we do is about math. It's about math.
Yeah.
Everything that, and actually everything that we do is about math. If you're going to prepare tea, let's take tea. Math application of math is in tea, because if you take a teaspoonful of sugar, you put in a mug of water.
Yeah,
it's different from when you put it in a gallon of water.
Yeah, of course.
So when I'm sitting in the sitting room and Archie, I come to you and tell me how many sugars. My mind tells me that you are not giving me tea in a barrel.
No.
You are giving me tea in
a teacup.
You have not asked me the size of the tea I want. You don't ask me that question.
No.
How many sugars? Because in my mind, we know that a tea is served at that.
Yeah.
And therefore, if I need sugar and I tell you 1 spoon, in my mind, I've already worked out what the taste will be so that it's not. Yeah. But if I tell you 1 sugar, and you go and bring me
bullshit,
or the other way,
that's more.
You go and bring me what do you call it? short glass, and put 1 sugar in it. You have they
want to give you diabetes straight.
But over there we have assumed that certain factors are constant.
Yeah.
The mark that we serve carbs in is almost constant. Variation of about 25 milligrams and other things. Yeah, we could get that, but we know it's almost constant. Standard. So when I say 1 sugar, it means I know it's mass. It is mass.
But how do we demystify because we have lots of people in the secondary schools, or at times I talk to a lot of people and they think, I don't like maths. I don't like maths. So the other they are doing is like waiting for maths to get out of their what do you call it?
That's why I did to French.
So that's what they are waiting. Let's get it out. And say 18 years, and that means getting ready to go to uni before you stop studying maths.
I mean, one thing I do believe over here is when they say they want to do something, the full complement of what they want to do. Yes, they might mix a few things like the way we see on smart motorways. They might mix a few things, certain things they could get wrong, they can't get it 100% wrong, 100% right. But we tend to see that they put all efforts into that. I do believe that you're going to even see the school curriculum changing. You're going to see community programs and other things changing. You're going to see a bit of even those who do the nursery, the child mindness and other things, some of the learning aids that they use.
Towards that
focusing and changing, so that from the grassroots they start developing people towards that mindset, knowing that if I'm a child minder and it's compulsory, I mean they will come, okay, if we can do this, we'll be turning the brains towards this direction. We'll be turning the brains towards this direction, and research, science and other things will be done. They'll work to. Actually, I'm happy if it's going to go that. Because I do believe it will help. It will help a lot. It will help.
Well, I hope that we need to know the starting time, so that those who don't like it at all, I mean, they are the ones who are going to be struggling.
Our traditional leaders were very good with maths. The only thing is that they didn't formalize it. When it comes to maths and look, Christian, if you look at Muslim religion, Muslim religion is full of science. It's full of science. Look, climatology is there. What they call geography is there. That they can just look and say, okay, the moon has celestial fasting. It's science, right? But we've not brought the language down to our understanding. And then again, they will tell you, look at our traditional leaders. They will tell you, this time we do not fish. Why? Multiplication over there. Now if we have 3, we know that this time of the year we need to get them to multiply.
Right, yeah, replenishing.
It's simple mathematics. That the more we catch, division, that's what we're doing, and subtraction, that's what we're doing. But during this time, let's do multiplication and addition. So how do we get that? When I'm going to cook stew, if you don't take what they call a lot of salt, it's all math. On TV they tell you they measure something grams of flour, something it's all math.
Yeah.
But how do we make people to understand that baking is an application of math? That you need to take certain quantity of flour, certain quantity of sugar, so that you do not cook and bring me cake where the sugar
bango cake.
Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so it's about how we look at it from our even heater. They tell you when you go turn it to
that,
and then that will generate this.
Enough.
Because at the end of the day, the resultant will be your bills.
Yeah.
That is the resultant. If I turn my temperature to this degree and I put the heater on at this, I will get a
corresponding increase
in my bill will be X. Work it out. And therefore when you turn it to 5 and you turn this in you leave it for these hours, what will Y be? It's math. So let's start breaking down the daily language. That's it.
I think parents, if you are listening to us, you have to get your before you give your child the food. He said, you have to calculate how many spoons you're going to put in your mouth.
But we do anyway. When we go to buy KFC, we go to buy this thing, we're able to tell that McDonald's, how many what they call wrap do you want? How much? You tell them no, this is expensive. This is £1.39. That's why they've increased. What they call cheeseburger to McDonald's. I think £1.39 from 99p. And then they'll be able to tell. But if we buy KFC bagging basket, we have what they call 10. What they call chicken pieces, and we have 4, and it comes with 4 chips, and therefore if we divide it, we pay 14. We're able to divide it. Patrick, you, myself, if we divide it, that means 14, but we look at about £3 something. So instead of you going to buy yourself a £5.90, so we do the math. The only thing we need to remind ourselves that when we talk of math, we are not talking of rocket science. We are not talking of someone going to bring what they call 1948 calculator. They punch in ping, add figure. That's what we are talking about. So it's just about getting people to understand what math is. Math is not, and from that to the age, the math we're talking about, we're not talking of a lot of prove that 1 + 1 is not 2.
No,
that is not what we're talking about. Prove that 1 + 1 is not 2. I mean, nonsense. Prove that 1 + 1 is 3. Are you getting me? Demystifying why it can be 3 and
cracking your that
is not what it. But it's going to help train our brains, and I'm happy.
You're happy.
I want to even go back to adult education. I'm starting in September though.
Oh, okay.
Adult education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was I talking to? Was telling me do adult education? I said no.
I'm going marching.
I was saying I wanted to go do medicine, and they said I was like, oh, but by the time I finish now, when will I do my housemanship? I'll be going for pension,
No, actually you can do it. Now I've challenged myself. From September, I want to start doing something. I want to just keep my brains more active.
Yeah. I mean that's very important.
I'm going to get my brains more active, so I've decided to go back to school part-time.
Okay, he said want to go back to school. Okay, what do you want to do as well? We've got about 12 minutes. Let's run up the program. We're going to just look at a couple of stories and then we'll run up the program from here. There's something that has been happening in Japan and in India. Now in Japan, the Prime Minister was on stage, was supposed to be at a place to deliver a political message or something of the sort. He was attacked, and I mean, by the grace of God, thank God, his life was spared. Now remember, just about a year ago, we had Shinzo Abe who was shot whilst he was doing that. Japan has been a peaceful country when it comes to things like that. And gun, you don't hear people being used in that particular way. But we have India as well, where another politician, a former politician, was also shot there on TV.
Yeah, Archie, that's why we begin by saying that, look, we wouldn't want that to be the portion of most of our politicians. That's where some are caution some of us who always advocate that let's use community strategy when the politicians come to our community. This man was actually in his community. He was shot point blank and couldn't survive it. Actually, it is my view that, look, as politicians, this man wouldn't have been shot. I'm not providing justification or alibi for any shooting or crime that has been committed, unjustified in my view. Although what people tell me taking someone's car off is also unjustified. Tire off. But at least I've not caused them the life. I mean, it's lessons that are being taught, and they will live to know. One, we don't know what is going on in this case. The motive for the shooting has still not been published yet. The man who has been arrested obviously did not pretend that he wasn't the one who committed the crime. He actually, was there point blank, and then even gave up. Round hands up, knowing that he was good. Would have not told us about any reason why he did that yet. But whichever way you look at it, that's why we need protection a little bit. But you see, the unfortunate thing for us is that we're going to see what happened in India being used in Africa as a way of spending public money, because they're going to tell you they need more police bodyguards. That's why the MPs are they're going to go to Parliament and tell you that's exactly. But the question we need to ask, there could be something behind it. If you look at the Japan one, was talking about family issues, about how a church that he belonged, the prime minister belonged to, and actually helped to expand, ended up spoiling or destroying his family. That was a personal revenge, which has nothing to do with politics, whatever. But someone will say, okay, he had political power, and therefore perpetrate those acts. Are you getting me? So, actually, it's a sad situation. But at the end of the day, we all have to be careful. Politicians, what we do, we need to be mindful. We need to know that, look, whatever we're doing it for. People, we're doing it, and the people are watching. You know.
Do you think that we need a new political order? Because we look at the democracy in the US, we look at other parts of the. Here things. In the UK things work differently. Okay, but in the US where we had the incident with Trump, lost elections and still saying that no, I didn't win, and he had people, his supporters, just going on and doing everything in their power to maintain it. We talk about the Capitol invasion and stuff like that. Now. So it looks like the system itself that we are all following needs a bit of adjustment or something of the sort. I don't know whether power can be taken from the people's hand. If you take power from the people's hand, you ruin the whole thing, because those who are ruling will be the ones just controlling everything, and we don't want that. But if you give them the people to the power, because of sycophancy, some of them are just.
Actually, in my view, and this is a personal view, I think that we might have to look at our political systems again. Where it is not working, let's change it. Okay. In my view, we cannot say democracy is not good. Democracy is good, but it is obvious that certain things within that democracy are not functioning the way they should. If they are not functioning, if you have a car and a part is not working within it, you change it. And one thing that is not working for us and for me and for you and I is how political parties are funded. That for me helps a lot when it comes to administration, because at the end of the day, the politicians are interested in money to fund the next political party. I'm not saying anyone should take taxpayers' money to fund. I disagree with that. The other thing is that when it comes to politics, I think we have not been upfront with people enough when it comes to accountability. We have exported and imported our traditional systems, respect for our kingship and our queenships into our political system, so that because when the chief speak, a child cannot question. When an elderly speak in a society or even our households, when if a father might be wrong, a mother can be wrong, but we do not have that ability to be able to correct. Look, there are certain things that the other time I did something, Francis was like, "That no, that's not it." Are you getting me? And sometimes we were not trained to be able to listen or accept criticism.
Yeah.
Once I am a chief, once I'm an MP, once I'm a church elder, once I'm a choir leader. I mean, you have situations where choir leaders will come and they bully their way through.
Yeah.
Today, probably the girlfriend might have sang some song. Even the choir people don't know it. I say, the other time I love this one, I listen to it, and then the girlfriend, there's going by force. You want every choir.
They don't like it.
They don't like it. It's forcing them. So at every level of the society, our culture, our mindset, majority of us, I'm not saying all of us, have got to a point where we try not to be accountable. Something. I mean, 4 days ago, I had an encounter with something, and this has to do with a job somewhere, and a team has been put together. This is a personal story. A team has been put together. When a person subject, the person says, "Okay, I need $100 to do something." I say, "Okay, no problem. Is it what you are suggesting? Is it the product and outcome of the teamwork?" Because I specifically give instruction that sit down with the team as a team leader and come out with a proposal and a budget. So if you are coming to me that $100 to do something and it's not a teamwork, it's not about the money, but it's about the work, the output, that what you're going to use, that to, the use to which you are going to put that money to has to be a collective decision by the team. Some people in that team do not have expertise. We all learn. No one is perfect. We all learn. Now the second thing I asked, okay, the other time we did something similar. Can you tell us the total spent on that? No, this is not the time to be asking questions and other things. I said, right, I don't go that way. Thank you very much. And I blocked it. The person first, I had asked the person to go to the treasurer and submit his proposal. Because he didn't want to talk to the treasurer, came to me thinking I'll just waive it. It didn't work. Now went to my CEO, the chairman of the organization, that is Frank the one who is paying for the advert? And I said, I told you I don't want to know anything. When it comes to the management of this, talk to Frank. For 4 days now, the person has not been able to even. Do you know what we do? Yesterday night, we actually put someone in place to do what we want to do because he can't hold someone. So in our mindset, I'm a team leader, and therefore I must not consult, or I do not want to take. That is what that's the problem. That's the impression he gave me. When you put him in charge of a company, he will run your company. He's not ready to listen to the workers. Even suggestions that will come, he's not ready because he thinks he knows it all. Are you getting me? And that thing is what is affecting us. We don't listen. Even people are crying that, look, this food bridge that you are building, the contractor you gave it to me does not know how to contract this food bridge. You say, he's my beloved blessed man, and therefore let him go and contract this bridge. We step on it on the commission day. It collapse. Archie, that's it. So for me, I think too much of our politics, and we have spiritualized everything. Yeah, we have over spiritualized things that ought to be done practically. Are you getting me? Someone is killing you. You have a knife over. You have a steel over there.
That's not touch my anointing.
Archie, a thief comes to your house. You have this thing over there to whip the person off to go, right? And you say, Jesus Christ. You
say you send your angel.
You send your angel to guide me.
And guide me.
Protect my properties. You are going to sleep. There's a lock. You are supposed to lock your door. Jesus, this door, this house, you gave it to me through hard work. You blessed me and I have a lot of money. This door, sent Angel Michael to come and guard it. Leave your door open.
Angel Michael will be in Kowutu.
Are you getting me? Angel Michael will help We tell Angel Gabriel, bring his purse. He's a fool. Bring his laptop. He's a stupid man. He's abusing our power. He's actually misusing the grace that we're giving him. That the brains that we gave him, like the parable of talent, says that what did you use it for? He's not practicalizing it. He still wants us to come in. What do you call it? Do everything for him. He's a fool. Let's help the cheat. Are you a thief? You say no, I'm not a thief. We'll make you a thief today. We are angels. Take all this and then take it away. You see, I will do it. So actually, we need to look at what is working. When our culture, our religion, for me, is a lot of a problem. We give too much respect. I'm not saying we're in disrespect.
No.
We need to separate what they call sycophancy from respect. And to my view, respect must be earned.
That's right.
Respect must be earned. We don't say because Buhari is a president, if he's erring.
We say,
those traditional days, and even still today, chiefs can take your wife.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. That's why today they can take your taxes, blow it because they are leaders.
Yeah.
They don't
you can't say nothing.
You can't say nothing because they don't want you to say nothing.
Yeah.
Because we have empowered them. That's exactly that we do. A chief can come and deprive you. David's time.
Yeah.
Why they come and deprive you of your wife?
And then they kill you out. Shut up.
That's the exact thing that they're still doing today, especially Black Africa. That's what we're doing.
Wow. Listeners, unfortunately, we have to bring the program to a close. But some breaking news coming through. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is facing declaration of interest inquiry over childcare firm his wife has shares in. You know what? You have people who are following you, like Les Truss, who went to the US and say that the Prime Minister she doesn't like. So you know that people will be cooking and doing all sorts, but I don't think this one will go anywhere.
I mean, Archie is good. I mean, we are not saying you have shares and therefore you shouldn't get a business, but we want to see if that influenced a decision that you make. If you're going to give a contract or you're going to do something, and on the basis of the documents available, experience available, someone would have taken A and you gave it to B, and we found out that you gave it to B partially because your wife is there. It's conflict of interest. So you're gonna provide the basis for which that contract or whatever else. And I think this is what makes us have confidence in democracy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the girl is perfect, but
at least close to something good that you can actually be bold of. Well, listeners, this is where we bring in the program to close. Frank, before we go,
Archie, let her have a very great afternoon, and we'll be with them tomorrow morning.
Okay. Listeners, we want to say thank you very much for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoy the show wherever you might be. We hope that we were able to touch on all the issues that were going on across the globe. But this afternoon, exactly at 5 o'clock, we'll be bringing you the NHS time. Yes. So make sure your dials are logged on there. And this evening, exactly at 10 o'clock, we'll be bringing you the Conscious Reggae time with the one and only Dave West. So make sure you make a date with him as well. And then tomorrow morning, as Frank said, we're going to bring you another edition of the morning show. However, this afternoon, there's going to be lots of music with our DJs taking over. And let's talk. What about that? Okay. So on that note, we say have a lovely afternoon and see you all tomorrow. God bless you. It's with me, Archie, and Mr. Frank Davis saying have a top of the day. But let me bring you this song. This time around from Mo Ali. And he says, Crazy Ball Heads. Enjoy it. When it ends, you don't hear from us. We say bye-bye for now.
And I planned the car, so did not my people before me. Slave for this country. Now you look what they have done. They heat up all my car.
Hey.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Just those crazy Pallien. Just those crazy.
Thanks for listening.